Ever since the first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, we have just been getting more and more info at a pretty constant rate. Recently, the second trailer dropped along with a few clips of the movie that reveal a bit of information that we didn't know before, for example including the roles of Peach and Donkey Kong. Along with bringing more info, the movie just looks better and better the more we see of it. I'm getting very excited to actually go see this thing in April. So much so that I want to do another predictions video on it. This time our predictions are going to be based on the second trailer and the new information it gave us. Now you may have noticed that I said our predictions rather than my predictions. No, I didn't make a mistake, I'm perfect. The reason I said that is because this time around I'm going to be including some of your predictions from the comments. I chose some I agree with and some I disagree with, as I want to look for ones that have the most interesting discussion behind them. So the format for this video will go as follows. First I'll look at the predictions from the first video and make corrections, then I'll give a few new predictions, and then at the end we'll look at the comments. Also keep in mind that most of this video will just be gameplay footage as to avoid copyright. Movies suck. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right into some predictions. Alright, let's quickly run through what I said in the first video to see if I got any correct, got any wrong, or if they're still up in the air. First off, I predicted that they would start the movie in New Donk City. Well, it is pretty clear from trailer 2 that they will start in some sort of city. It's not necessarily New Donk City. In fact, they show on one of the posters that they actually start in Brooklyn. Now that's not to say that Brooklyn can't be part of New Donk City, it's just that the area being in New Donk City or the Metro Kingdom might not be touched on much. The humans in the background of the poster also don't look like the horrific monstrosities in New Donk City, though that was honestly to be expected. The second prediction I made is actually pretty interesting. I predicted that alongside New Donk City, Pauline would also be in the film. This is one of my few predictions to have actually been confirmed. While she sadly wasn't in any of the trailers, she does make an appearance on one of the movie's posters. Based on her being pretty small in the poster, it's pretty clear that she won't have a very big role, but it does appear she will be in the film. This does give some evidence for Brooklyn being a part of New Donk City as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing how she's utilized in the film. I'd imagine they'd keep her as a smaller role here to have her play a bigger role in a Mario Odyssey themed sequel, but again, that's just something we'll have to see for ourselves. As for two theories that are somewhat incorrect, we have the roles of Luigi and Peach. Originally, I predicted that Luigi would enter the kingdom after Mario to maybe look for him, but based on the trailers here, it looks like they'll be entering at the exact same time. Luigi just happens to get unlucky and ends up at Bowser's place. Luigi also appears to be the character kidnapped by Bowser, seeing as, well, he got kidnapped by Bowser. While it does differ from what I had predicted, I quite like this. It makes sense that rescuing Luigi would be a strong motivation for Mario, which he definitely needs in order to build the courage to fight a whole Koopa army. With Luigi being the one who's kidnapped though, my prediction that Peach would be kidnapped seems to be incorrect. She's with Mario for a majority of trailer 2, meaning Mario, her, and Toad look to be the main cast we'll be following during the movie. She might get captured near the end, but it looks like for most of the time, Mario will be with her trying to defeat Bowser. This is again something I really like, as it would let Mario build a connection with Peach on their journey. Obviously this is the first time they're meeting, so having them build a relationship with each other would be great to see. Our last few predictions didn't really get much new evidence or counter evidence from the new trailer. With no Koopalings in sight, I still don't think they're going to show up in the movie. They just make more sense as sequel characters. This still looks like it'll be the origin for Captain Toad, seeing as he's journeying with Mario and Peach the whole time. And finally, my last prediction was that there would be at least one reference to something outside the Mario series. Technically, we haven't seen anything like that yet, but at the same time, there was a reference to something Mario does outside of his own series. That would of course be him doing the Meteor Knuckle from the Super Smash Bros. Series. I mean, you can't tell me that's not what they're trying to reference here. Odyssey, don't you mean the forward aerial? Forward aerial? You know, the forward aerial? Shut up! I'm super happy they're using this in the movie. It's probably my favorite move from the Smash series, and I've always thought Mario looked great doing it. I'm really happy that it's become such an iconic move for him, despite it not actually being from the Mario series. But with those predictions out of the way, let's make a few new ones. First off, I want to take a look at this scene from the trailer right here, which shows off 6 distinct different islands. Based on what we know, we can assume this one is the Koopa Kingdom, this one is the Snow Kingdom that we saw in the first trailer, and this one is the Mushroom Kingdom. The other 3 are a bit more interesting, so I want to talk about them each individually. First off, this island appears to be the Donkey Kong Island that we see Mario travel to in order to fight DK. We already know that this will be an important plot point, seeing as this is where the second trailer starts, and we see all the Kongs on the Rainbow Road. If I were to guess how the scene here goes down, it looks like Mario will have to try and maybe prove himself in order to get the Kongs on his side. It doesn't seem like Mario and Donkey Kong are fighting because they're enemies, seeing as it's in an arena with a crowd and Peach and Toad are just watching. Somehow, despite getting absolutely destroyed here in the opening, I predict Mario will eventually be able to defeat Donkey Kong, or at least put up a good enough fight to make the Kongs want to help him out. It also seems like this might be the first island Mario goes to, seeing as no one who could be from the other 2 seem to be on this Rainbow Road. Plus, of the other 2 islands, this is the one we've seen the most of, so it will likely be first. Okay, on to island number 2, we have this one, which to me appears to be Yoshi's Island. We actually do see this island a bit with this scene from the trailer. I mean, some other scenes could be taking place here too, but this one for sure is. You could tell because of the Yoshis. Easy to miss detail, I know. I'm assuming after getting help from the Kongs, Mario, Peach, and Toad will then go to Yoshi's Island to do something. It's unclear if Mario will try to get Yoshi's help or if they're going there for another reason. While they are there though, I could see some sort of scene explaining the brothers' backstory as babies, which would be based on the Yoshi's Island games. I'll get more into this in another prediction, but I feel like the brothers' backstory will be featured in some small way, and Yoshi's Island would be the perfect place to do it. But now we have the island that we know by far the least about, this desert island. Now we can eliminate this being Toastarena. Yeah, Toad does have a Toastarena button, meaning it does exist, but the pyramid is right side up here, so it's very unlikely to be this desert island. No, the place that I think this could be is Sarasaland, the kingdom of Princess Daisy and the location of Super Mario Land. This has always been depicted as a sort of desert land, and seeing as it's the home of a very popular Mario character, I could see this being what this island represents. We do actually have a reference to Daisy on the first poster with her iconic flower logo being hidden in the background. Well, certainly not a confirmation, it's some decent evidence that Daisy may make some sort of appearance in the film. I do predict this will likely be the least explored of the islands. This is the only one we have seen no footage of, or at least no footage that we can directly tie to the island, though I do definitely think they will still go to it. I mean, it'd be really mean if they didn't go to it despite showing it on screen. Now I want to get to the prediction I mentioned in the Yoshi's Island segment. One very interesting thing about Bowser in the trailer has to do with these exchanges.
A mustachioed human has arrived in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Do you know him?
It seems to me like Bowser has some reason to already be against Mario. This also seems to be before he actually does anything to stop Bowser from having the Power Stars, so why would he and Kamek be so concerned about Mario? There's always the chance that there's some sort of crazy and wacky prophecy, but I think it would be more interesting if this is left as a mystery until Mario ends up at the Yoshi's Island, who then explain that Mario had joined Yoshi to fight Bowser a long time ago, or something happened a while ago. It just seems really strange to me that Bowser would care enough about Mario landing in the Mushroom Kingdom before any sort of direct conflict happens with them. I'm assuming by this point he already took over the snow area where he seemed pretty confident that he was invincible, so to be suddenly concerned about a random human feels a bit out of place. So I predict that there is some sort of reason that Bowser needs to fight Mario, whether it be something that happened in the past or just a simple prophecy of some kind. While we're looking at lines from the trailer way too closely, this one from Peach seemed to catch a lot of people's attention.
There's a huge universe out there with a lot of galaxies.
This feels like a really weird line if it were referring to the different islands shown on the map, so I think it's safe to say that this is setting up for something. What that is though, I'm not so sure. It could be either setting up for a Mario Galaxy themed sequel, or maybe even a Super Smash Bros. Movie universe. Now I know that a lot of people are against that idea, but honestly I think if done right it could be a lot of fun. I'd be very excited to see something like this, and I certainly think it's at least possible. But yeah, this line does seem really strange when looked at from the plot of the movie, so I feel like this is setting something up. Alright, now I just want to run through a few smaller predictions before we get into a few of the comments. First off, I think the movie will end with a 1v1 between Mario and Bowser. Wow, it's almost like they do that one every game. Yeah, I know that one may seem obvious, but I only point it out because Mario seems to be working with Peach and Toad most of the movie. While I do think they'll help him up to Bowser, I feel like the fight will mostly be focused on the two of them fighting each other. Also, I don't think Bowser would die in this fight because a Mario sequel without him would feel very wrong. Also, Mario killing anyone would feel wrong. This other one has basically been confirmed, but I have heard some people say that they won't use that much music from the Mario series, but come on, the one full clip we've seen has the Toad House theme, 1-1 theme, Bob-omb Battlefield theme, Mario World Ground theme, and even a Bob from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. I think the soundtrack will mostly be remixed Mario stuff. And the final prediction has to do with how Brooklyn or New Donk City is connected to the Mushroom Kingdom. We know that Mario and Luigi are going to arrive there from a warp pipe, but does that mean they're now in an entirely different dimension, or is the Mushroom Kingdom located on the same planet as New Donk City? Personally, I really don't know, but I'm going to guess it's the same world. The reason I say that is because the warp pipes are clearly able to take Mario and Luigi to different islands on the same planet, so maybe the Metro Kingdom is just really far away from the Mushroom Kingdom. I could definitely see this going either way, but personally I like the idea that they're on the same planet. Now we don't have too many comment predictions, but there were a few that I thought were fun and interesting. First off, Greenstar Galaxian predicts a traveling montage that's presented like a side-scroller Mario game. This would be a phenomenal addition to the movie, and I could definitely see it happening. Many scenes from the trailer are also sort of presented as 2D, like some of the training montage and the Cheep Cheep Bridge, which also might I add is a fantastic reference. I definitely think it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't have a 2D traveling montage, so I'm hoping this one comes true. For another similar reference prediction, Solve says Mario jumping through a painting would be awesome. This is another another one that I could definitely see happening and is also something I really want to see. Mario jumping through paintings has been seen in numerous Mario games, Mario 64 being the most iconic appearance, but most of the other 3D Mario games also reference this in some way. I do think this may be slightly less likely than the last prediction though. The only reason I say that is because they're already using warp pipes a lot, and having two somewhat similar travel methods may be something the writers want to avoid. Personally, I think having the paintings would be fun, but I could understand cutting them to have a stronger focus on warp pipes. Let's look at a few Bowser-related predictions you all had. First off, Epic Things says, I think that Mario will end up defeating Bowser by swinging him by his tail like in Mario 64. It would be a crime if this does not happen in the movie. It's such an iconic boss fight to gaming as a whole that I feel like it has to be what Mario does to finish Bowser off. The only other thing I could see him doing is destroying a bridge and having Bowser fall, obviously referencing the first Mario game. I definitely understand them going with that, but I just like the tossing Bowser by the tail idea a lot more. As for what happens to Bowser after Mario defeats him, PsychDuck says they tease dry Bowser at the end, free. Despite them saying free, this is actually one I sort of disagree with. Like I said before, I think Mario actually killing someone would be really weird. Well, yeah, if Dry Bowser is here, technically that would mean Bowser is alive, but it just doesn't feel right, especially for how nice of a guy Mario is depicted as in the trailers. Dry Bowser would certainly make for a decent sequel villain though, I just don't know if I'm really behind that idea when they could have the Koopalings or Wario be sequel villains alongside Bowser. While on the topic of villains though, the Fat Piranha Plant says, this is a long shot but a King K. Rool post-credit scene where he mocks Bowser for not being able to conquer the Mushroom Kingdom. This is a very interesting one to me as I really don't know. It does seem pretty likely that we get a Donkey Kong movie after the Mario movie, but do they set that up in this movie more than just the Kongs appearing? Honestly, I think they could, and K. Rool is a pretty popular character now because of Smash, so him being the villain is super obvious. I guess it depends on where the whole Mario universe is going. If they plan to do a whole Smash Bros universe, then setting something up like Zelda would make more sense, but K. Rool making an appearance is certainly not off the table. One last little villain prediction comes from DDD Juego where they say, I'm gonna hate even suggesting this, but here goes. Goombas will act like minions. I can see it from miles away. Honestly, I completely disagree with this. First off, we have barely seen any Goombas. They only make a small appearance in the second trailer during the showcase of Bowser's army. Secondly, I don't think there necessarily has to be a minion sort of character. Just because it's from Illumination doesn't mean it'll be a copy and paste of Despicable Me. But the final piece of evidence against this one, Goombas never eat bananas. They're clearly too different. Our next prediction comes from Cologne where they say, my prediction is that it would play a remix of Do the Mario during the credits. While this may just seem like a small, unlikely wish, there is actually a bit of evidence to support we might get this. Nintendo released some posters from the movie, and two of them say, we're the Mario Bros and plumbing's our game. Those are actually references to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show intro, the place where Do the Mario was taken from. Since they are clearly willing to reference the show, I don't think a Do the Mario remix is out of the question at all. I would love to see it here as I used to watch the Super Show a ton. But our final prediction of the day comes to us from Anthony, where they say the line, thank you so much for watching my movie done by Charles Martinet after the credits. I totally didn't even think about this, but yeah, this would be a perfect ending to the film. Many Mario games have Mario say, thank you so much for playing my game, so having this line thrown into the movie would fit perfectly as both a reference and as one of Charles Martinet's cameos. We already know he's going to be getting more than one based on the direct, and I really can't see any better place than having the real Mario thank you for watching the movie. But anyways, that's it for this video. Are you enraged that I could even suggest that this movie won't have a minion stand-in? Let me know in the comments. This is really close to the most excited I've been for any movie release, pretty much only behind Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Everything we see for this movie makes it look even better, and I'm just so excited to actually see the thing. I'm definitely going to be making more videos on it in the future. But anyways, dry bones for Smash, and I'll see you guys next time.